Hello, learners. Now we will talk about dyspraxia. There are many similarities between dyspraxia and dysgraphia. However, these are two distinct conditions that can result in a learning difference. I'm going to ask our expert, Sri Priya Bhomik, to explain us about dyspraxia now.
Dyspraxia is one of the very common condition that we are seeing on a regular basis. First thing I would say, if you suspect a child has got dyspraxia, which is obviously, as we say, a clumsy child, first of all, talk to an occupational therapist to ensure that you're targeting the correct area of weakness. Because dyspraxia is not only about God, the child bumps onto everything. No, it's not only that. So what I'll be doing now is I'll be looking into each area of difficulties and now some of the strategies that you can use. Remember, it's really, really important that you work in close proximity with occupational therapists because they are the key people to go to if you suspect your child has got dyspraxia, and then real interventions and some strategies needs to be put in place because it can manifest in various ways. So the first and one of the key area which overlaps often with dysgraphia, as I was saying earlier on, is handwriting. And that is often the first telltale sign. Okay, has got a very bad handwriting. The letters don't sit on the line. They're all over the place. Letters are not formed correctly. As I said, that handwriting practice is not the only solution. Do multi-sensory activities of letter formation where you can get them to write on the sandpaper, then sky writing. So like D, B, and then limiting the hand movement, restricting the hand movement, writing on rice trays, then using correct pencil grip, then the writing lines, stenciling, maze. Maze is an amazing, one of my most favorite strategy, which I use for all across the difficulty area.
Yes, Shripriya. We will get to the maze approach a little later. But first, could you maybe explain why most people believe dyspraxia is only about being clumsy to the point of being dubbed clumsy child syndrome? Is dyspraxia just about motor movement or does it also involve other issues? Could you kindly provide some of the strategies that instructors can use in the classrooms to help a dyspraxic child?
We often consider dyspraxia with only motor movements, clumsy movement, bad handwriting, those sort of things. But also, things that they flit between activities. My child doesn't finish one thing and we'll move on to something else. Yeah, most of the kids are like that, but you'll often see that they'll generally tend to flit from one which needs more physical coordination, eye-hand coordination, than another thing. Like, we'll start a painting, but we'll never finish it. We'll start making something, but we'll never finish it. So, or in classroom, you'll often see that they never finish their classwork. They never finish their written work. And often that I say, okay, and they'll find something around in the classroom. Their eyes will wandering off. They'll find something to look into, going out, what's happening outside the classroom, how many leaves are fluttering, and all those sort of things will be more interesting than actually doing the written work. So keep wall displays to the minimum, so that it doesn't distract them. And also another thing they are very good at is getting clue. So they'll copy. Sometimes they'll copy, and so keep wall displays to the minimum and try to position them in the classroom position should be somewhere where they don't get distracted. Then right under your nose, but not under your nose, because when you put them under your nose, they feel very kind of like they get into a shell. I've seen. So maybe to the side, where you can see, but they don't feel that they're right under your nose. As a teacher, have that, think about their positioning in class so that you can see what they're doing and keep an eye on them. That will help them to remain focused on the task. Another thing will be disturbs others. Yeah, they will, because if I'm finding it difficult, well, I need a partner in crime. So I have to talk to somebody. I have to do something. I have to justify why I can't do it. So have a very clear do's and don'ts in the classroom, so that if they're disturbing somebody, they know there's a consequence for it. And also, another thing is, give every child that sense of responsibility. I often found out that these students who tend to disturb others, get distracted easily, giving them a position of responsibility in classroom helps them. Like in between the task, you can give them the responsibility of, can you quickly go and get this thing from the staff room? That will give them the much needed movement break and being responsible for doing something. You can plan it with one of your colleagues that, okay, I leave this bunch of papers in the staff room or in the office, X will come and collect it. I often do that, and that really, if I give them, okay, you can have 5 minutes of movement break, that you're drawing attention to the child. But like every week, you can have like, okay, it's your responsibility. You don't have to do it every day, but in your mind, every teacher can during the lessons we can come up with a plan of when he needs the movement break, and you can see that the child is fidgeting or disturbing others. You give them that break from the classroom, go out, get this job done, and come back, so that it kind of promotes that independence and giving you're stopping that disturbing behavior from happening. So it's very much a positive way of dealing with that. You're preventing that. You'll often see that dyspraxic students will have difficulty understanding concepts such as in, on, in front of the positional thing. Play games with the comment cards. So in class, even when you're giving them that task to do, you can give them an instruction. You know what? I've kept it on top of the table or under the bench. Can you go and find it? See if they can find it. Do not only just make it activity based, like on table based. Okay, well, you have got a card, so put the dog under the tree. They'll get bored to death of it, and the concept will not develop. How many times you'll create resources? So make it really real life. So put things in the classroom in different places and ask them to find things.
We will now take a look at the maze exercise that Sripriya mentioned earlier. I'm sure it will come in handy for instructors in a variety of circumstances in the classroom.
Today we are going to look into some activities to improve the visual tracking skill. Visual tracking is a very important and a crucial skill which our kids need to develop their reading, numeracy, any academic learning. So we will be looking into some really simple activities that you can do at home to help them develop this crucial skill of visual tracking. The first activity that we are going to do is something very simple. We all have done it, maze. This activity not only helps them develop their tracking skill, but also plays a very, very important role in developing their attention span, their fine motor skill. So let's look into some of the very simple activities that you can do in the form of maze to develop all the skills. Here you can see we have started off with a very simple maze. You can make it even simpler, so you can just literally draw something like this or something like this. So depending on the level of your child, you can think about the maze pattern. So you need to ask your child to start from here, go across without touching the line, that's crucial, and then end. So generally, to make it more interesting, I add one character here and something over here. So the girl is going towards the flower. So this not only helps them develop their fine motor skill, attention span, and also their tracking. So make the rule, they cannot lift their pen up. If it touches the line, then they rub it off and then they start again. And if you think that your child will not be very receptive to the idea of starting all over again, and they have touched the line, say somewhere here, rub it off here, just go a little bit backwards and then start from here. The focus is that they need to go back and start again to make sure that they are slowly building on their attention span. Now, based on the simple ones, you can also add a bit more complex patterns. So to work on their a bit more complicated things. So if you're working on fine motor skill, you can do different patterns like this or a combination of this with this and this and this. So you can make your own pattern. So no need to take a printout of anything from websites or thing. You can use a whiteboard or you can use a paper and just draw some lines with the pattern and encourage them to do the tracking.